All right, so we got to talk about episode 2. Fair warning, if you guys haven't watched episode 2 yet, if you haven't even watched the series yet, do yourselves a favor. I think most everybody that's at least coming to this channel that's been here for a long time is a Danmachi fan. And I'll just say this series is an absolute treat for Danmachi fans. This is the way we always wanted Danmachi to be treated in animation-wise. The stories are very similar. We'll get to some parallels here later on. But just fair warning, we're just immediately going to jump into spoilers. So right kind of out of the gate, you get a little more background on Will's character, and it's just... Dude's been basically told from day one, more or less, that he's worthless. You know, you have no magic ability, blah, blah, blah. All the stuff we learned last episode. We just learned that that's been his life. I think it's even mentioned later on in the episode that he's got no parents. And it's, you know, there's no guardian, as they call it. So, he's had a rough life. Yeah, he's had a rough go. You know, what can you kind of expect from that situation? But the honest answer is... It kind of keeping with how you would be in real life, just kind of growing up in that situation, he doesn't let it hold him back. And it just makes him more and more and more, I guess, driven to do what he's doing in the situation, and that's to kind of overcome all the adversity in front of him. I'll just say that the series is just wild and crazy, and I'm loving it so far. And we're only 2 episodes in. I am absolutely adoring this series. So just got to get in the meat and potatoes of it. This entire episode is all about the face-off with this dude behind us. Basically, this series' version of Cerberus Snape. Snape. So essentially, one thing before we get into that, they did the dude that I thought was just like flat out deceased last episode. He survived. He's unscathed. They really got to have like someone on the level of like My Hero's healer girl, who's like 80 in that series. They got to have someone on that level because that dude was squished. This dude was done, and he's got no scratches on him. He's nothing. In fact, in his mind. The dude he was palling around with, the bully, he's the one who won the fight. And the whole time you can see old boy in the back, like, brooding, and he's like, you know, he knows better, but he's still going to try to take the credit for it. But you could tell on his face, like, there's a level of guilt there for being a total D-bag. That's what it is. He's not taking credit, but he's not taking credit. You know what I mean? And everyone's eating it up. But, of course, he sees our main character and confronts him and just starts dogging on him. And it's around that time that we see Snape back here with the headmaster of the school. And it's like, dude's got no magical ability. What is he doing here? This dude should be expelled. He needs to be gone. He's a danger to himself and others. And the headmaster's like, yeah, but his grades are good. His grades are admirable. You know, like his only shortcoming is the fact he doesn't have magic in a magical university, or I guess middle school essentially, because they even mention there's a level of higher learning that they can go to after this. He's in his last year before he goes to that higher learning academy. So she's like, I tell you what, here's what you could do. Come up with a test and challenge him, and if he passes the test, then he passes. If he fails the test, then he's expelled. So, you know, stakes, right? We know the stakes are high. So, obviously, one thing leads to another, and essentially, he comes to our protag, and he's like, my dude, need you in my office. Let's go over here. And they essentially go to the magical gymnasium, this giant hall. Like, it's like remember, like, the old 89 Batman, the room where the dinner table was? It's that sans dinner table. He's like, Vicky Vale, you stand on that end, and I'm just going to start lobbing fireballs at you. And good luck. What I'm going to need you to do is land a hit. You land one hit, you get 5 points. 5 magical points, too. You know, and that's basically all he needs to more or less pass this dude's test. It's wild. The battle is insane. Absolutely insane. I mean, he's beaten to a pulp. And even Snape back here, I'm going to keep saying that because the parallels are just way too obvious. Snape is like, my dude, I got 2 moves that I'm going to use. This low-level fire spell. Granted, I'll stack it 150 times, but I'm going to do this low-level fire spell and this 1 defensive spell. That's it. All you got to do is land a hit. And he beats the snot out of him. He's absolutely just blowing him to kingdom come. Now, early in the episode, we find out that he keeps his sword on him, and the whole time he's like, man, if I had my sword, I wouldn't be in this situation. You're like, but really, dude? A sword? What are you going to transform like a magical girl? What? How is your sword going to help you? So, Earl Girl that he's been palling around with now for 2 episodes, clearly has a thing for him. Not that it's mutual. He's got something for somebody else. Nevertheless, she's all like, hey, I found your sword, Chief. I see you're in trouble. Literally, you're in the middle of a magical battle. And then lobs it at him. It's like, good luck. And the whole situation completely 180s. It is wild. Now, obviously, there's a certain part of this you could take as like, he's got, maybe it awakened his latent abilities. Maybe it's just given more confidence. He put on the little goggles, and obviously he does like an anti-Clark Kent thing. Instead, when he goes and turns into Superman, he puts the glasses on because whatever. But yeah, you could make all the parallels in the world. By the way, for Danmachi fans, it's not confirmed it's the same Gareth, but they mentioned Gareth from Danmachi in here. So a little Easter egg for y'all. A lot of fun, that one. But nevertheless, they talk about these dwarves, and there's like 10,000 dwarves and the one mage. And the mage just wipes out the dwarves. And Gareth comes up and just clacks old boy. And they were like, all right, we'll call it a draw. Dude's like, the landscape behind me is littered with dwarf corpses. But sure, yeah, it's a draw. GG. So, long story short, he gets the sword, and he's like, that's a magic breaking blade. And literally, you can see him. He's literally cutting these magic fireballs in, like, more or less nullifying them. Every time he hits one, it's essentially like cut in 2 and then just kind of dissipates. Like, it is literally a blade that can nullify magic. So total hacks on his part, but I mean, your pro tag gotta have something so he's not completely disintegrated by the end of the episode. Let's be real. If he didn't have that, he would be cooked. Literally. And tell me that that's not the face of someone who would just be like, well, not letting this body go to waste. Look at that. He would eat somebody. That is not a... I don't even want to think about it. That's foul look. Ugh. Never trust anyone with long hair. I'm just saying. So, nevertheless, he gets a sword and he just starts wham, 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 wham. And then, of course, spoiler alert, the protagonist wins the episode. Surprise. But I didn't think I thought maybe he'd like punch him, he'd kick him, trip him. No! It ends with the wand in his face and his sword in the other dude's face, and he's actually gashed the dude's face. Now, he didn't like behead him or anything, but he actually cut him with a sword, which I guess kind of makes sense. But I wasn't expecting him to like go for the throat, or in this case, the eye. So, yeah, this is setting up a lot for the next few episodes. Absolutely fun, fantastic series. If you got spoiled, that's on you. I'd warned you at the beginning. But even if you did get spoiled, just go watch the episode. It's just, I couldn't give justice to that fight. the whole, as someone put it last night in the live chat when we were streaming the Danmachi game, this episode went hard for absolutely no reason. It just came out of the gate and was like, yeah, by the way, this is how things are going. Just GG, it's fight or flight time. Episode 2! Where the hell is this series going? I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it. I'm stuck. I'm sold. I said it in episode 1. This solidified it. We'll be back next week with more Wisteria and Wistoria. Wisteria is something different. We'll be back next week with more Wistoria. I am... Can't wait to see where it goes. I'm stoked. I can't get enough of this series yet. Already.